Welcome. We're still letting folks trickle in, but in the meantime, welcome to Ponte Ready, part of Museo and Tu Casa, the new online bilingual initiative that Museo has going on. So we at Woke Foods, myself, Francis, and Ethan are really excited to be here. Talk about some refreshing beverages. Ethan's still setting up a little while we let some folks continue to come into the space. Hey, Joanne. And that is it.
Welcome.
Happy Monday. Hope everyone is feeling all right. Thanks for finding the time and capacity and energy to pull up on this. I want to believe that it's going to be very refreshing. These beverages.
It will be refreshing.
It will be refreshing. Yes, exactly. It will be. Thank you.
Giving you some validation.
Affirmation, validation. Thank you. Yes. I think, are there more folks? Good. Cool. Folks are still coming in. Welcome.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I just set up these Bluetooth earphones. So
While we wait for folks, just want to remind y'all to stay connected to El Museo through the social media. So of course the website, elmuseo.org, and Instagram, etc. Events are also on the website. And if you'd like to donate, that is also on the website. And I'll remind you about that again later.
how were the streets this weekend? Francis, were you out there?
Was anyone here out in the streets this weekend? I prioritized some quiet family time. So I didn't get to anything, but I saw a lot of pictures. Was anybody out rallying or raging and things like that this weekend? If you're talking, take yourself off mute. Or use the chat as well, no pressure.
Someone just wrote to us on Instagram that they haven't received the link for the Zoom. Can I just directly share it with them, the one that we have?
You want me to do it or you got it?
Are you on the Woke Foods Instagram?
I can be in like 2 seconds. Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah. All right, great.
Yeah, how did you all get the link? Not you, Joanne. I know how you got the link.
They sent it through email. It's on email, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to briefly send this to someone as we keep. Yeah, thank you. All right, you got the email, got the Eventbrite. Okay, yeah. We'll definitely make a note of the Eventbrite link and any confusion that was going on with that. How's it going over there, Isanette?
It's going well. Just setting everything up. This is going to be us walking y'all through how to make it, but because of limited time, there are things that I have pre-done to make the process go quicker. Because we're making cooled beverages, there are some things that I had to pre-chill, put in the freezer, and so it's gonna be like those cooking shows. It's like, and then you put the bird in the oven, and then the bird comes out already done.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a little bit of that.
Got you.
Yeah, all good. I am feeling excited for this. Also feeling, had like 5 minutes of hope yesterday, seeing 15,000 people out in the streets rallying for Black trans lives. That was really beautiful to see. And yeah, just hope that the momentum continues, and just also grateful that in my lifetime this is happening.
Yes.
Not in my lifetime that we're fighting for justice, but in my lifetime, like that we have to, but that in my lifetime we're really like getting the shit done.
Yeah. That's real.
Someone said we need a YouTube channel.
Yes.
I just got this little ring light situation. It took me like 5 hours to set up.
It's looking real nice over there.
Things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. A YouTube channel feels intimidating.
Oh, I thought you were saying like, I'm ready. I got my light. That's not what you were saying. Okay.
No, I could be ready, but I need support. So if anyone wants to help us.
With the YouTube page, yes. Yeah, so maybe we can talk about, yes, and the tripod, exactly, Joanne. So folks are still trickling in. We will say welcome again. Welcome, welcome to Ponte Ready, part of Museos and Tu Casa, the museum's new online bilingual initiative. Welcome, welcome. It's exciting to be here. I'm going to pass it to Isanet to talk a little bit about woke foods so that we can know who we are and why we were chosen to do this with y'all. And then we'll get started.
Yeah, thank you, Francis. Thank you to El Museo and to Christian for bringing us on. I'm really excited to be here with y'all and share a little bit about woke foods. We are a worker-owned cooperative, which means that all the workers who work in woke foods are also owners. And our work is specifically focused on plant-based Dominican and Afro-Caribbean foods, mostly from the greater Caribbean. And we also do a lot of work related to food justice and food sovereignty in New York City, but have had the cool opportunity of traveling and doing it in other places. And we do this work mostly through catering, cooking classes or cooking demos like what you're about to see today, dinner experiences, and also workshops for both organizations and individuals. And I'll pass it on to Francis.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, that's woke foods. I also just wanted to catch us up to speed on what woke foods is working on now. So today, in the age of the Rona, we have been prioritizing meal distribution, free meal distribution uptown in the Bronx. We have been in communication with the North Bronx Collective, which is a really dope group of folks uptown in the Bronx. And we've been working on providing weekly meals for them. Free of charge, plant-based meals, really delicious food. So if you'd like to support that work, our donation link is on our website, wokefoods.coop. And if you want to DM us and talk more about that another time, please do. We will be there in the DMs to talk. So yeah, we're really excited about kind of pivoting and providing what our community needs in terms of delicious food. So that's what we're working on. Let's talk more about woke foods later. It's 2:10. What do you think? Should we jump in?
Yeah, let's do it. Let me try to adjust my camera.
All right. We've got avena happening, morir soñando happening, and paletas de coco-inspired ice cubes. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Trying to make it accessible too for what people have in their homes.
I'm excited. I briefly mentioned to Christian from Museo that I was excited about the coco that like he was like, oh, you haven't seen yet? I had to remind him that I'm one of the woke chefs. So I am here learning with you all as well. I focus on the education component of woke foods. So I have my notepad and I too will be tuning in, actively tuning in to what is about to go down. If y'all have questions, I suggest you can use the chat or unmute yourself and ask, or if you want to raise your hand, I can unmute you. I'm going to try to field questions, but we're definitely here for the questions. So however you feel comfortable getting them out there. We might not be able to answer them right away, but I'll be taking notes too if we need to circle back to your questions. Cool. Any questions or clarity before we go? Okay.
So we're gonna get started with the jugo de avena, which is oat beverage. Saying oat juice doesn't sound right, but yeah, it's an oat beverage that I grew up with, especially in the summers, being with my family in the Dominican Republic. and it's blended oats, and it's lime juice and vanilla extract, and it's one of my favorites. So we're gonna get started with that. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to put 1 cup of whole oats into my blender cup. And because Woke Foods focuses on plant-based food, we don't use dairy. And so to replace what is usually used, the milk that is usually used for this beverage, we're gonna be using oat milk. I like to use either oat milk or cashew milk for these type of drinks because it's supposed to be creamy, and I feel that if you use almond milk, it sometimes can be a little like watered down. You can make your own oat milk, or you can also buy it. So I'm gonna add 2 cups of oat milk. And then once I blend it, we will strain it. All right. And then I have a NutriBullet that I'm using, but I also have a Magic Bullet that I really love, and so either one works. Right, so that's blended. It's pretty simple. Then uncover it and get a strainer. I'm gonna just strain it through. There'll be a point when the oats are gonna kind of like get stuck, and so I really love rubber spatulas for this type of stuff, but you can also use a spoon, whatever you have at home, and just start getting all the milk and oat goodness from it. So yeah, so that's what you want to do, and you want to do the whole thing. I'm gonna put this to the side and bring out one that I have already chilled. So this one I have already prepared and done. I'm going to actually just combine this a little bit. But this has been in the fridge, so it's nice and chill. I don't know if you can see. Yeah. And then what I want to do now is I'm going to add a little bit of sugar. Now, you can use regular sugar, you can use maple syrup, you can use honey. I mean, there's so many different sweeteners. What I'm doing is a little bit of simple syrup, which is simple. You have to boil water, add sugar, it dissolves. And I like to use simple syrup because the sweetness in the beverage comes out instantly versus having to add like a sweetener and it has to like dissolve. And so this allows my beverage to be sweet immediately. So that's why I add this. And then kind of just mix it. At this point in the process is when you chill your oat milk. So how much simple syrup? I'm terrible with measurements, but I would say to add half a cup of simple syrup. Or maybe actually, why don't you start with like 1/4 and then taste it and then scale up from there. And so so you blend your oats with your milk. You sieve it. Once you sieve it or strain it, then add your sugar and then put it in the fridge to chill. And then once you bring it out, that's when you can add the lime juice. And so you're adding the juice from three limes, about this size. If they are smaller, you should add 4 or 5.
Can you speak quickly on using water instead of oat milk? Would you suggest that? Is that cool?
Yeah, I think that's cool too.
Probably
Yeah,
would be.
I like it like, you know, nice and thick and oat. But no, yeah, you can definitely use water. Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. Cool.
Cool. So this is where it gets not tricky, but you want to be cautious because you're using an acid. You don't want it to curd, so you want to add it and then mix it quickly as you add the lime juice.
And did you chill the oat, the milk before
Yes.
you add the lime? Yeah.
So this is after the milk is chilled. So again, blend your milk, add your sugar, put it in the fridge or in the freezer. Chill it. Then once you chill it, bring it out and add your lime juice.
What about lemon juice if I don't have limes?
Yes, lemon juice is fine. In the Dominican Republic, and I think many Caribbean countries, we use more limes. Or I have seen use of more limes than lemon, the yellow ones. But in Spanish, limón is just limón. There's no like, you have to say limón amarillo or limón verde.
And would you say you chilled it for like 15 minutes, half an hour, an hour?
I chilled this for an hour. So I started prepping like at 1 o'clock. And that's it. I like to add vanilla extract to everything. So I'm gonna add a teaspoon, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. This is Dominican. What is it? Oh my God, I'm doing the thing that YouTubers do with the hands.
You just put your hand behind the bottle? Okay.
Yes, they always do that. I'm like, what do they do that? And I'm like, oh, so they can, the light will block the thing.
Yes, Joanne said you are ready for YouTube.
Ready for YouTube. All right, so that's done. I'm gonna taste it. Wow, it was really good. And then you add it to your ice. You add it to with some ice cubes. If you want to get fancy, you can garnish with some of a lime. And then, of course, metal reusable straws. And that's it. Let me do the hand. The hand.
How long? What's the fridge life on that? If we make it now.
I would say maybe like 2 days.
Okay.
But I actually don't know fully. I just know that when my family makes it, it only lasts 2 days in the fridge because we consume it within that time frame.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say longer because it's like acid and it's just gonna get fermented. Mm-hmm. And so I wouldn't, this is kind of just like one of those beverages that you want to make. You can also spike it if you're into that.
Oh, like with some wine?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to give it to my mom.
Beautiful.
Who just woke up and just sat there watching me the whole time. All right, so any questions about jugo de avena before I transition to the morir soñando?
Yeah,
no.
It's good for people avoiding sugar. Exactly. It sounds so refreshing. And
if you're avoiding sugar, you can also you can Google how to make date paste with dates. It's super simple. So you blend the dates and then you can make your simple syrup with dates.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, you can also I use a lot of coconut sugar when I'm baking. There's also monk fruit sugar.
Monk fruit sugar. Okay.
So there's definitely options if you're trying to stay away from regular sugar. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, we have such a layered relationship with sugar, especially as people from the Spanish-speaking Caribbean or from the greater Caribbean, if you're, you know, Dominican, Cuban, Puerto Rican, or Jamaican, because of the extraction of labor from our bodies to that we gave to the sugar industry and still do. And so there's like a really great documentary that I recommend in Netflix. What's the name of it? I know there's like an episode on sugar. I think it's I'll have to find it. But it's, remember, Francis, I told you how they have an episode like on avocados, they have an episode on sugar, they have an episode on, I think, coffee or cacao. And I really appreciated that. I really appreciated the documentary, because the things I know, and I know that Francis and I always, or she has mentioned that the story of usually a produce or a vegetable is usually the same story. Can apply to many different things, because that's the impact of colonization and imperialism.
Is it Rotten? Is the documentary Rotten?
Yes, it's called Rotten, and the episode is the one on sugar. Thank you. Shout out to y'all.
Yes, it's also confirmed. Awesome. Okay, I gotta watch that. Cool.
Yeah. All right, so let's move into the morir soñando. So for the morir soñando, we want to have fresh orange juice, but if you don't have like fresh orange juice, regular orange juice is fine. Vanilla extract, more sugar, and for this one we're going to use cashew milk, but you can also use oat milk. I just want to give you like a variety of milks that you can use, and then also ice. So I have already squeezed my orange juice, but I chilled it, so I'm gonna get it out of my fridge. Position the camera better.
Can you run that recipe like one more time on orange juice?
Sure. So it's gonna be 4 cups. 2.5 cups of orange juice, fresh orange juice. 3 cups of cashew milk or maybe almond or oat milk. Just want a milk that's like nice and thick. 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. And 1/2 cup of a sweetener. Plus ice. So there's a few options that you can get the juice out of your oranges. I'm just gonna use this really huge orange squeezer. Of course, I'm not getting all of it, but I don't have a juicer, so this is gonna be it. So this is already chilled. You don't have to chill it, but I felt I wanted it to be chilled. You can chill it after. So, and to get 2.5 cups of orange juice, I had to squeeze about 6 or 7 oranges. All right. So similar to the jugo de avena, you want to add your acid at the end. So I'm going to put this to the side, my oranges to the side. And I'm going to bring the cup.
Is your phone moving in any way, Isana?
I think it's my hair on the earphone. Sorry.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, so this is just cashew milk. You can also make your own cashew milk by blending pre-soaked cashews. I don't even do pre-soaking anymore. I just boil them for 20 minutes, and that softens them up. And then I'll put them in my blender with water and with a little bit of vanilla extract and a little bit of salt. And then I blend the cashews with that, and I strain it, and then I put it in a mason jar, and that will last me, I think, again, I usually consume it very fast, but that has lasted me like 3 full days. If you're interested in making your own cashew milk.
And for the morir soñando, is the cashew milk your preferred milk?
I usually either use cashew milk or oat milk, but I wanted to use I wanted to use 3 different non-dairy milks today, so that y'all know your options as you're making stuff. So like with the coconut paletas, I'm obviously going to use coconut milk. So we're going to be using oat milk, cashew milk, and coconut milk today. All right, so this is the cashew milk. Now I'm going to add my simple syrup. That's about half a cup. I know it because it's what I do for a living. And then vanilla extract. Again, half a teaspoon. And then let me get a fork. So mix that. And stir in your OJ. All right, I'm gonna stop it right there. I think what I love most about morir soñando is this distinct smell that it has. And I recently saw on Twitter, there's a new app, there's a new thing that you can smell TVs now, what people are doing on TVs. No, you can't smell it, you can taste it. It's wild. I wouldn't buy it, but I'm just saying that's also an option. So the reason I did that is because there was a little bit of orange juice left, and I should have had a bigger jar because of the quantity that I was going to be mixing. But I think I'm going to go with this one because this one has all the orange juice. And then again, I'm going to taste it. Wow, that's really good. I wish I was in the DR right now. So, and again, have your cup with your ice and pour it.
Just the sound. Oh my goodness.
And then get your straw. And then you can get an orange.
Oh my God.
And that's it.
Yes, exactly.
Who's gonna drink all of this? I don't know.
Yes, you have some. Elaine is remarking that it looks so good. I agree.
It's really good. Yeah, I think I'd add like a little more sugar.
Oh.
So yeah, you kind of have to figure out what you like. All right, any questions about that? How long this could last? I'd say also like 2 days.
Yeah, I definitely have left the morir soñando in the fridge for more than 2 days, and that bitter orange just hits you. So I appreciate you reminding me. And Elaine is also asking if you went with simple syrup instead for health reasons or what?
Cause I'm making it in real time with y'all. I want to know like if it's sweet enough. If I was making it like for myself and I was gonna go then chill it, then I probably would have gone with like an alternative to simple syrup. But you can also make simple syrup with dates and with coconut sugar, monk fruit sugar, like I mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Maybe the timing thing. Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. So now we can get started with. Sorry, okay, I'm gonna put the morir soñando by the oranges, and then I'm gonna put the leftover jugo de avena by the lime, so I know which is which because they're both cream. All right, so now we can get started with the paletas de coco, and so for that you wanna actually heat up the coconut milk. So I'm gonna be using unsweetened full fat coconut milk. I do not like coconut milk. That is not full fat. But you can also, I think, go with the low fat. But I prefer like the thickness of full fat coconut milk. Also, if you have access to coconuts, you can also make your own coconut milk. And what I like about having access to my own coconuts is then I can, this recipe also calls for, where'd they go? Oh, also calls for coconut flakes, which is made out of the coconut meat. So what I like about using a full coconut is I can use all of it for the entire recipe. And if you want to go the extra mile, you can use coconut sugar, coconut everything. All right. So I already heated up the coconut milk with, instead of adding simple syrup, I just added sugar. So that sugar already dissolved in this. And then I'm going to add the coconut flakes. So this is, so for 2 cans of coconut milk, you want to use 2/3 cup of shredded coconut. So the recipe is 2 cans of coconut milk, and 2 cans is 8 ounces, 13 ounces. So 26 ounces of coconut milk, 2/3 cup of shredded coconut, 2/3 cup of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So I'm gonna add, let me position my camera. I'm gonna add my shredded coconut. Once you heat up the milk, you also wanna cool it. So heat up your coconut milk, add your sugar. Then once that's done, you cool the mix, because we're gonna put this in the freezer. Then our vanilla extract. And then mix it. Wow, that's so good. I could just drink that actually.
Exactly.
And then you want to get an ice cube mold, or you can get also paleta mold, but this is what I have, and we're in a pandemic. So, or some of us are in a pandemic, some of us in quarantine, some of us are like, oh, it's over. But I don't know those people. So we're gonna add this mix into this. These are the ones that are already pre-made. So I'm just gonna see if they're done. Let's see.
Can you feel the coconut brand? Is that the Thai coconut milk brand?
Yeah. I don't know enough about them, so I don't even, if they're problematic, please let me know.
Yeah, no.
I'm sure it is.
Someone was just asking which brand you use.
I really try to stay away from Goya, more for like values, political reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that they are key. I'm not gonna take this out, it's not done. But when you take it out, it's like a nice like popsicle. You know what would be really good if you made this and then you had like some pineapple juice.
Wow.
And you use it as ice cubes. Yo siempre estoy inventando.
That's
my mind is always thinking about food. And then you can also, so this mix filled 1 cup of the coconut milk. So the recipe I gave you is for 2 cans. I scaled it down because I cannot eat all of this. So I scaled it down to 1 can. So just slash the recipe in half. And so 1 can of coconut milk will fill up 1 full ice cube tray. Yeah, and then you can also add what's it called? The wooden sticks in there. Yeah, I would freeze it for 1 hour, then add your sticks. Okay. If you want like an actual paleta.
Yes.
Just kidding. The last thing I will do, add some shredded coconut at the top.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah. Like that meme, Salt Bay.
Yeah, but way better.
Yeah. So it looks messy, but it's gonna be really good after.
That looks delicious. Wow, that looks so easy. I thought that one was gonna be. I was intimidated by the.
That's the easiest one.
So you heated up the can. You didn't boil it. You just warmed the coconut milk with the sugar. Let that chill. You just left it in the pot. Let that chill in the fridge.
Well, not the whole can. I uncovered.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean you uncovered?
Like I opened the can and I got the coconut milk out.
Yeah, no, I'm saying in the pan, not the can. You put that in the pot. I'm saying you put that with the sugar in the pot. You warmed it up on the stove. Then you put it in the fridge, or you just let it cool off. And then you added in the shredded coconut and the vanilla, and then that's it. Then you just put it in the trays. Oh my goodness.
That's it. Because it's summer and we're trying to do things quickly.
Right.
So we can spend time in our fire escape because we can't go outside.
Yes, and Helena's pointing out that would also be delicious with lime. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good. Whoa, I feel like you just took the coconut mojito as well to another level.
Yeah, you can also add, you can also spike the paletas.
But would it freeze?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes. That sounds great. Someone asked about if you've always been on the plant-based journey. Before you answer that question, I just want to remind folks about us being in this Ponte Ready online interactive situation that El Museo has going on as part of their El Museo and Tu Casa initiative. I want to remind y'all about the Census, which is going down as well, and also want to remind y'all about our website and the food distribution work that we're doing in the Bronx, which we are continuing to accept donations for. And that you can learn more about our meal distribution uptown at wokefoods.coop. So I just wanted to remind you about those things before you, Isanette, talked about your life in plant-based foods.
So I decided to explore the plant-based lifestyle. Before I knew about the word plant-based, I first learned the word vegan and the veganism movement, and that was in 2013. And that came from watching a disgusting PETA video. And then I learned about this organization called the Peace Advocacy Network. They were doing these like 21-day vegan pledges, literally like right before Thanksgiving. And they will partner you with a mentor. And my mentor just so happened to be a Black Dominican woman that was also raised in New York. And she was like, you can do this, you can do that. And I remember the first day of that class, we had to meet every Sunday. They gave us like a bag with like a bunch of vegan goodies. And they had some like, forgot what they had, but I just ended up coming home and the first thing I made was asopao, which is like the soupy rice with like vegetables. And I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. But then after that, I was kind of like confused. So I just ended up eating lots of tostada with earth balance butter. And then I moved to the Dominican Republic. I didn't continue it like fully. It was like more vegetarian, more flexitarian. Then I moved to the Dominican Republic and spent about a year and a half there and got sick from eating some bad street meat, and it got parasites and a few other complications. So then stopped eating meat again to heal from that. And that's living in the Dominican Republic. That's where I kind of like, not that I didn't know, but it was more like in my face how innate like my people's food is plant-based. Like even growing up, we didn't always eat meat because we were poor people from the campo. So we would eat eggplant guisada with plátanos, so like stewed eggplant with plantains, or eggs if there wasn't available animal meat. And so it's been a journey. I let it go, I pick it up. Right now, I am more flexible, but that's also because I'm going through a process of recovering from disordered eating, which I know it's not something that a lot of like Black women talk about, but it does affect us. And so, yeah, that's an experience that I went through as a young person. I went to a predominantly white American and white Latinx high school, and so I was exposed to like a lot of contortion of body, and I played sports, and so that's how the disordered eating came about. So in the recovery for disordered eating, I am kind of asking myself, like, did I pursue the plant-based lifestyle as a way to contort my body? So I just keeping it mad real with y'all. Like, it's not like a one size fits all, but what I do know is that I really love to eat foods that I grow. I like to eat foods that my friends grow. I like to eat foods from the land. I like to stay away from processed foods, not just for my health, also for political reasons, because processed packaged foods, the meat industry really harms our people, Black people, brown people. And so it's both like a conscious health thing and also like a political stance. And yeah, so that's my journey in a small amount of time.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that, Isanat. Thank you. Thank you. We have a few more minutes. Any other questions about woke foods, or someone saying thank you for sharing? Every day is a journey, and I'm grateful that you are here to teach. Beautiful, Roberta. Yeah. So yeah, I just want to see if there are any more questions about what we cooked or woke foods or. Anyway.
The recipe, I do want to say the recipe for jugo de avena is on our website, wokefoods.coop/recipes. I'm going to try to add the morir, soñando, and paletas de coco to our Instagram. I don't like adding recipes on the website if we don't have nice pictures, and I don't have a nice picture of this stuff. But I will put it in a graphic and put it in our recipes highlight on Instagram.
That's good. Yeah, and Christian also mentioned us emailing them for the group too, which is fairly easy. So they'll be on Instagram and they'll be in the email. I didn't see anyone share their email, so I guess we're good on that. If you didn't share your email and you don't get it emailed, know that it'll be in our highlights. Cool. I'm just copying and pasting the notes that I took, that I shared in the chat about these delicious recipes. Thank you.
We have other recipes on the website too. We have we were on a live last week with White Hunger. It's a great organization that you should look into. And we did salami or salchichon guisado, which is another Francis likes that one. Another favorite of mine with mashed plantains. We are Bronx based, but we're also Harlem based because we're kind of like in both places. We have our commercial kitchen that is in East Harlem. So we cook out of a commercial kitchen with other small businesses, but like our legal office is in the South Bronx, and also a lot of our farm partners are in the South Bronx. For example, La Finca del Sur, which is where Francis is a farm manager. Yeah. And then I was working or volunteering for New Roots on the Grand Concourse. So a lot of like produce would come from both farms, both community farms.
And someone's also asking, oh, yep, someone arrived. Yep, so there's the jugo de avena recipe is on our website, wokefoods.coop/recipes. And Museo will be also emailing the recipe, all three of the recipes, and we'll also include the recipes on our Woke Foods Instagram and our story highlight.
We have empanadas, or we call them, the Dominicans call it pastelitos. What do Puerto Ricans call it?
Pastelillos.
Pastelillos. So empanadas, pastelillos. We have that recipe on our website.
Awesome. And someone asked about information on Goya and how lame they are. Do you have any links or any good reads on that? We should just blast Goya on our social media soon.
I think I have a draft of a post like that when I was like really honed in on making my own tomato paste and tomato sauce. So I was like, That's the last thing I need to divest from. And yeah, just in general, like cans, even though today I use a can, like cans take a big process to make, like a lot of natural resources from our land. Water, it creates air pollution. I mean, so much. And for us, it's important to always make the direct connection between colonization, which was about extracting labor from Black bodies to justify economic power for white people. And that there was also simultaneously, it was an extraction of resources from our lands. It was an extraction of resources for gold, for soil, for all the beautiful things that are part of our ancestral countries in Africa, and also the island of Haiti, which then, you know, the colonizers renamed Hispaniola. And so, yeah, there's like a direct connection, and I think it's important not to forget it, or think that like environmental issues, climate change is separate from like white supremacy and colonization. Like they go hand in hand. Like that is how white supremacy gets to stay and be as powerful as it is today.
Real smoke. Thank you for spelling out those connections too, Isana.
And Goya, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember all of it. I just remember that when there was one example when Oscar was released and got put into the Puerto Rican parade, Goya got out.
Yes, and they did it real quick, like in a little email. It was something real fast and unprofessional, and just straight up effed up the way they dipped on the parade the year that Oscar Lopez was in there. You're absolutely right. That's on
And
my
there's also, yeah, and there's also a lot of stories that I have heard from people from Puerto Rico on the island that you know the big factory of Goya is in Puerto Rico, and just like unfair labor practices and like no funneling of money into the development of Puerto Rico as an island. And so for all the ways that they like take our culture and sell it back to us with additives, with added sodium, with all the added things that it needs for their foods to stay in a shelf space, in a freezer space for as long as it needs to stay. Like there is no contribution back to the actual development of these islands. And so that's just all I gotta say. And I think it's also owned by a Spaniard.
Yeah, it's definitely not Dominican and Puerto Rican. It's true.
Yeah.
Also, Disa Gata is pointing out that they forget how bad plastic is, and they forget about the cans. And yeah, that's the thing. Like the more you study, it's like it's so many things are so horrible and toxic, and it's hard to find things that are like not rooted in white supremacy and slave labor and like harsh extraction or just extraction period. So
Yeah. And one more thing I want to highlight is that you know their use of plastic in cans is like they do create cultural food products, but at the same time there's other parts of our culture like zero waste lifestyle. That's us from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Like that's my grandmother. So it's like innately zero waste practices, low waste practices are part of our ancestral culture. That's just how we be in the world.
Wow. Thank you for coming to this Woke Foods and Museo TED Talk. Thank you for listening. That's mad really, Sanette. I'm gonna stop us there unless there are any other questions, comments, anyone? All right. Going once. Thank you for joining us. Yes, thank you, Museo. Thank you for joining us for Ponte Ready. Thank you.
Ponte Ready, Ponte Woke.
Exactly. Ponte Ready, Ponte Woke. Catch us at wokefoods.coop. Check out Museo at museo.org. Don't forget about the census. And that's it. Reach out to us. If you make any of these, please tag both of us. We really, 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 not just saying it, we really want to see what you make. So please tag us, show us. If you don't want to post it, DM us, whatever. But we do want to see your refreshing beverages. And hopefully we can hang out with you all again soon. Thanks, y'all.
See y'all.
Bye, y'all. Be safe.